Hey, I know that you are currently probably wandering around your kitchen, or maybe you're sat down in your bed and you just want to scroll past because there's more important things to do with life. I get that, but I wonder whether you just take 5 or 6 minutes with me right now for a health checkup. A lot of people are talking about our physical health at the moment, understandably, with all that's going on. More of us are increasingly talking about our mental health and the wear and tear that COVID is having on that and all the restrictions that are placed. What I want to talk to you about today is your spiritual health. Look, as it regards spiritual health, it's the same with physical health. If you go to a doctor and he has a look at you and says to you, you've got something seriously wrong with you, initially that sounds like bad news. But in the long run, finding out what's wrong with you is good news. I've got lots of friends at church who are desperate to find out what's going wrong with them so that they can be healed. And what I'm going to talk to you about today is what is wrong with you and what is wrong with me, spiritually speaking. And I tell you this because I want you to be healthy. I want you to hear the truth. I want you to be the way that you're meant to be. And so I'm going to share with you some quite difficult truths that I'm even a bit nervous to share with you, especially since you're probably sat in the comfort of your own home. But I hope that this will be helpful. We've been going through Ephesians 2, and the next bit that we come to says this: like the rest, we were by nature deserving of wrath. I expect when I look back and I look at my audience retention, that's going to have dropped off when I said that, because that's a controversial thing. But it's actually good news if you hear it rightly. Firstly, it says, like the rest, we were deserving. Paul isn't saying what everyone on your Facebook feed is saying at the moment. If you go on your Facebook feed around Brexit, it was Brexit people are amazing, or Brexit people are terrible. Was maybe at the moment it's people who wear masks are great, or people who wear masks are terrible. There's always this division, isn't there, between two sets of people. And the Bible, we often think that the Bible's going to fit into that, like Christians are the good people and everyone else are the bad people. But that's not what Paul says here. He says, like the rest, we were deserving of wrath. There are no good people. There are no kind of top tier people in the world. Everyone is in the same boat. But that does mean something significant for you. You've got to admit that you're deserving of this as well. Like the rest, we were by nature deserving of wrath. This has been with us from birth. People often find that hard, to which I would say, have you met children? We've been separated from God since birth. This is kind of like a genetic disease that needs to be sorted. Like the rest, we were by nature deserving of wrath. When I get angry sometimes with my kids, sometimes they deserve it because they've broken the rules. Maybe they've hurt their brother or their sister. But sometimes I get angry for the wrong reasons. You know, God, his anger is always deserved. We're told in the Bible that he's slow to anger, that he's very patient, that actually he's not looking around waiting for people to go wrong. No, but he is angry with those who deserve it. And I deserve it, if I look honestly at myself. And if you think about yourself honestly, you deserve it too. And finally, it says here, we were by nature deserving of wrath. That's a really strong word in English, and it's the same in the Greek. It speaks of a indignation. Again, it's a right indignation. You might have an indignation against racists, against white supremacists, against people who abuse children. That's right to be angry at those people. God, when he's angry at us, is right to do so. But there is good news. That's the spiritual diagnosis. We deserve wrath. We deserve to be separated from God, and we will be for all eternity if we don't do something about it. But there is good news. God sent his Son to be, here's a tricky word, a propitiation, which means someone who turns away wrath. It's hard for us to understand how exactly this works, I appreciate, but God says in his word that his wrath can either be directed towards us or it can be directed towards Jesus. Jesus came to earth even though he'd done nothing wrong, so that he could take our wrath, our punishment, and so that we could receive his reward. In the next few weeks, as we continue through this passage, we're going to get to some of the good news stuff, but we need that bad news stuff too. We're going to talk about the cure in the next few weeks, but we need to have the diagnosis. We are deserving of wrath. So I pray that today, as you're watching this, wherever you may be, that you'll hear the truth of that and that you'll turn to Jesus as the one who can save you. Thanks for watching. We'll be here again 12 o'clock next week. Love to see you there. Thanks very much.